What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Boy, I've had a lot of fun this morning. I left the dock early. I had to go get gas. I left about 5:45. Air temp was 32 degrees. There was not a breath of air moving in the river at my house. I went over to Winter Harbor, which I believe right now is the only place on the water that still has gas pumps that are on. I don't know how much longer they'll be on for. Hopefully another month, so I don't have to carry cans. I got out to the 81 bridge, and there was a wind blowing northeast in my face. So I kind of changed my plans and called an audible, and I didn't go. I was going to run down off Constantia, where I've been the last couple days, and I had, even though I didn't get those walleyes yesterday, I saw them, and I was going to go back there again and see if I could get into them again like I did Sunday. But I'm like, I could have ran down there. I didn't. So I started looking at my numbers on the outside edge of the weed line here in the west end on the south shore. So I'm right off Muskrat Bay, give or take. And I come up along the edge into the wind, and I see a couple marks. And so then I turned directly into the wind, started going upwind, scanning, graphing, whatever, looking. And then I just started seeing big mark after big mark. And I'm like, okay. So I kept going until I no longer saw them. And I started to, put the bags out and started drifting back over them. I fished something a little bit different this morning to start with, only in the sake of color. If you've been on Instagram or Facebook this morning, you've seen it. So that is a I1 blade bait that Mike gave me the other day. I don't even think I fished it yet, and I don't have a name for it yet either. But that thing lit up the big smallmouth this morning. I don't know if it was color or bait. Could I put Homie or any other of my good colors down there and did the same thing? I can't answer that. The first one was just a slammer. It was my biggest one of the morning. It was 19 and a half inches. That smallmouth was solid and fat, and I'll bet you that fish was in the 5-pound range. I don't have a scale right at the moment, so I'm going to have to guesstimate, and I always try to be a little conservative. I don't want to be that guy that everybody's like, that's not as big as you say it is, blah, blah, blah. So I'm gonna err on the side of caution. So first drift, my first 3 fish were on that blade, and I really thought it was gonna. I'm like, this is knock 'em dead. Now I haven't fished another blade color yet, and I guess I'm not gonna, because I'm filming this and I gotta go. So I got a little farther in on that first drift. Because I've done everything in 16 and 17 foot of water. So I got inside of 15, and I'm like, I could start seeing a little bit more weeds still, because there's still weeds out here. They haven't released yet. And so I threw a chatterbait with a little Kitech swim bait tail on it, thinking, I'll give these bass a little different look, a little vibration, still with the vibration. And second cast, it just got mushy, and I started reeling. I feel like this, big walleye, not big, but 17 and a half inch walleye, nice keeper. Had it, you could barely see the metal blade part of the chatterbait sticking out of his mouth. Just woofed it. Okay, I made about 10 or 15 more casts, continued that drift with that same bait, and nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, is what it is. There's one. He's coming up. Oh, he come off. Oh, mother fluffer. Oh, Sacagawea. So that's on the, okay, so that would be the second fish now. That is the Megabass Hazadong Shad in Ghost. Now that little bit of chartreuse was a bleed over from something else I had laying next to it. I've got it on a drop shot rig with a 3/4 ounce drop shot weight and about a 24 to 30 inch lead. And I'm dragging it across the bottom. Oh, I wanted that fish right there. Okay, so continue on. I finished that drift. I got that walleye. I came back up exactly on my line, and for the first time in forever, this wind isn't oscillating back and forth. It's the same drift. So I got right back on my same exact line. I had my screen dialed into 50 feet. Oh, just had another one whack it right there. Oh gosh. Whoa. Okay, I'm onto something right here. They're right here. I'm right on my same line. I've thrown swim baits today on jig heads, and I'm not getting bit on them. I haven't had a bite on them. But this little swim bait on this drop shot rig is deadly. It to me, and in the last 2 years, this late in the season, I start fishing this a lot because you have so much more control over. Now you're not fishing mid-water column with this. You're fishing bottom. And so walleyes and smallmouth both will eat this thing. And I'm assuming that the angle it's on, so if I'm running 2 to 2.5 feet of lead, my guess is, so when it sits, so if the screen, my hand's bottom, you can see my swim bait up here, my guess is that bait's running at about 8 to 12 inches off the bottom, maybe a touch more. But you can stop it, you can hold it still, you can shake it, or you can just straight retrieve it, and that little tail's down there wiggling along the bottom. And so that was my second bite. The next cast, I just had something right there tickling it. That could have been a perch or something, I don't know. But all 4 of these smallmouth this morning have been tanks, have been just tanks. That first one, oh boy, what a beautiful fish. The second one, I tagged Jake from Cornell in it because it had big black spots all over it, and one of it's on its anal fin down below the vent hole there. In the middle of one of those black spots was an actual hole. It looked like a 22 caliber round went through his tail. Perfectly clean hole, which I thought was really strange. So I tagged Jake in that on Instagram to see if they have any idea of what, of why, or I'm assuming that's some sort of virus. But anyway, so that morning, that first drift died. I haven't had a touch on a blade since. I got a good screen in here too. There's definitely fish and bait in here, no question. So it's been a lot of fun this morning for a Tuesday morning. I'm just gonna make a nice little video when I get done with the footage that I shot during it, not just this right here. Water temp. So again, I've told you I'm in the West End, and I'm in less than 20 foot of water. That water temperature dropped 2 degrees, a little over 2 degrees. It's 47.6 down in here today. But it's my best morning in a while. Certainly I love these smallmouth, boy. I take catching these big smallmouth all day, every day. I just love them, and I don't have to pick. That's the beauty of it. You can, the beauty of our lake too is, for those guys like me that just love them both, most days you can catch them both in the same spot with the same stuff. And then it gives you that sense of every time there's a bite, geez, I wonder what I got today, you know. So all right, I'm getting out of here, guys. Thanks. Hey, I enjoyed reading, and there wasn't many, but I enjoyed reading the comments yesterday about hunting season. You know, it's on my mind heavy this week. This is the week before opening day, and then you got Thanksgiving coming. The weather's finally turned around. I'm seeing so many pictures of just beautiful bucks that guys are shooting. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So, thanks everybody. Have a great Tuesday. Do great, be great, and as always, keep your tip up.